Hello and welcome to this Cannes special episode of Storyboard. This is Shibani Gharat. While at Cannes Lions, Storyboard spoke to a few interesting people at the festival, and over the past few weeks, we have been playing these conversations for you. It is now time for us to play the last batch in this series, and we have very exciting conversations. The first one is with Kevon Bekipor, co-founder and CEO of Periscope. Last year, a fantastic live streaming app, Periscope, got acquired by Twitter. How has Twitter's life changed after the acquisition, and how has Periscope's life changed after the acquisition? Well, we have the founder CEO of Periscope, Kevon, right here with us today, answering that for us. Kevon, welcome to the show. So I want to understand from you, how have you impacted Twitter's life over the last 1 year?
Well, I think Periscope really created the live video presence that Twitter is now championing. Before Periscope, live video wasn't really something that wasn't a capability that existed on the Twitter platform. And I'm really proud of the fact that as of March of last year, people could now create and watch live video on Twitter and on Periscope, obviously as an independent platform as well.
And so how has your life changed after the acquisition?
Well, it's a lot busier, but when you're a startup and you're building something in a garage with your friends and your colleagues, there's an excitement, there's an energy, there's an anxiety to that process because you don't really know whether people are going to want to use what you're building. And so one of the major things that changed is that we got the validation of knowing that people actually care about using a tool like Periscope. And I think that's been the most energetic thing about the last year and a half, really, is just seeing all the amazing people, all the amazing companies, all the amazing brands around the world in different countries, different languages using the product that we built in a small garage in San Francisco.
So I'm interested in your story. How did you begin? How did you come up with the idea of launching something like a Periscope?
Well, I think the story begins with my co-founder and I. Joe Bernstein and I have been best friends since elementary school. And we've always liked building things together. And that's really how it started. We were building computers together, we were playing video games together, we started making websites together, and then eventually we started making apps together. And we built our first company together, and we sold that company, and we worked there for 4 years. We took some time off and traveled the world. And then we started thinking about what we wanted to build next, and we stumbled into the idea of building what we think of as a teleportation device. We wanted you to be able to see the world in real time through other people's eyes. And we stumbled into live video as the medium that we thought was really effective in letting you see the world. Because if you want to see what's happening somewhere in Cannes or in San Francisco or in Mumbai, a still photo isn't really the most expressive way to do that, but live video... But you
had the option of video. Why live video?
Because live video is a far more powerful way of showing you what's happening for a couple of reasons. One, it's literally happening. It's live, right? You can't dispute the fact that it's happening. It's not edited. It's not produced. There's no filters. It's happening right now. That's very powerful knowing that. Two, in that it's live, you can make the experience interactive between the viewers and the broadcaster. That's the most powerful thing. If I want to show you what's happening in the Tokyo fish market right now, and you're in Mumbai, you might say, hey, Kevon, show me the tuna fish over there. And 2 seconds later, I can take you to the tuna fish. That experience isn't possible to do with a photo or with a video. It has to be live.
How big is video today?
Video is, I think, increasingly the medium that people are using to share, because hardware, the software, the network can now handle it, and it's just really easy. You can press a button and start broadcasting to the world, and people can watch, and there's no hassle of uploading a video and editing it. People don't have the time to, we have our cameras and other devices that we use to press record and capture, and 90% of what we capture we don't actually upload to our computers, but live is a really powerful way of letting you share what's happening, and then when you're done, you're done.
How big was your team when you started your company?
Well, when we started, there was 2 of us, and then eventually there were 6 of us when we were acquired by Twitter about 1.5 years ago, and now there are about 44 people at Periscope. So the team has been growing a lot, but we're still, I think, given the scale of Periscope and how pervasive it is around the world, I think it's still a small team.
So what kind of scale has Twitter given you over the past 1 year? I wanted to know that.
Well, one of the powerful things about working with Twitter is we get to leverage a lot of the amazing resources that Twitter has. Both the team, so whether it's our communications team that helps make meetings like this possible, whether it's our media partnerships team, whether it's the sales team and the brand team, whether it's the legal team. These are experts in their respective crafts that we get to essentially piggyback on top of. without having to hire those disciplines in-house. So it's a really effective way of partnering with all the assets that Twitter has already.
Live video streaming comes in with a lot of challenges. There is challenge for getting the audience at the time when, you're streaming the video, or the quality or what is getting streamed live. So how do you tackle with those challenges?
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. There are a lot of challenges with live video, not least of which is the cellular connectivity. I think that the way we look at it is like the technological tailwinds are with us on this one. I mean, network connectivity is becoming really powerful in many countries around the world that don't even have the right landline infrastructure, but their mobile infrastructure is far more powerful. So I think that's really effective. The software and the hardware that companies like Apple and Google and Samsung are investing in their devices is really helping us be able to conduct periscopes more effectively. And I think the rest is on us to be able to build an experience that's actually really pleasant for you as a broadcaster or you as a viewer to be able to watch live video and interact even when the internet connection might not be amazing.
Overall, what has been the reception of audience over the past few years when it comes to live videos, and how has it changed or evolved?
I think when we first launched Periscope, or even before that, when we were raising money as a startup, people were very skeptical. It was, hey, why would anyone share this live? Why wouldn't you just take a photo or upload a video? People would ask questions like, is the quality going to be good enough? How would broadcasters know how long to broadcast versus when they would finish? I think that we've moved past a lot of that. I think that there was a lot of skepticism, but now people understand that live video is a medium that's actually powerful, that people like to use. So they ask different questions, but I think that's how any platform, any medium evolves, is that at first there's skepticism, then there's challenge, then there's people taking advantage of it and exploiting it, and then there's competition and other people getting involved. And so we go through a natural life cycle of that, and we're just as part of that process, we've got to keep building and doing what we care about.
How do you plan to monetize a platform such as Periscope?
Well, we look at it in a few ways. First of all, we're focused on building an amazing product experience, because if we're building a product that people love to use and people in mass use, monetization is the easy part, right? It's much harder to build a platform that people want to use, and so that's kind of primarily our focus. But we have the advantage of being part of Twitter, which allows us to monetize using a lot of the mechanics that are really effective for Twitter. So whether you're promoting tweets that have periscopes in them or other levers like that, I think we have a lot of advantages there that another startup in this space would not have.
What kind of brands would fit in perfectly on a platform such as Periscope?
Any brand that wants to reach a new audience, any business that wants to communicate with its customers in a new way. I mean, some of my favorite examples are BMW released a car on Periscope. You had the product manager for the BMW i3 go live in a studio with a brand new car, and he was walking around the car, opening the door, taking you inside, saying, here's what the steering wheel looks like, here's what the driver's seat looks like. And people would ask him questions like, why did you design the spoiler that way? Why is the rear tire like that? How much of an opportunity do you and I have as consumers, as potential buyers of a BMW, to ask the product manager of the car that question? So, companies like BMW, like Netflix, like GE are using Periscope in really creative ways that are exciting to us, because it's not traditional advertisers putting an ad on TV. It's actually engaging with customers in a new and an interesting way, leveraging the medium and the fact that it's live.
For live videos, the biggest user or the biggest community that uses live videos is broadcasters like us. How can broadcasters like us leverage on a platform like Twitter to make their content reach to like a maximum audience?
I think that the path for broadcasters such as yourselves to use Twitter and Periscope is even easier than everyone else. In fact, if you think about it, your business is about reaching people live, telling stories live or pre-recorded, whatever it might be. It's a much harder sell to say, why should you and I as individuals, or our parents or our siblings, why would they use live? That's a much harder question to answer. I think that, and that's what we've been focusing on. Like, how do we build a tool that makes you, when you see something happening in the world, you want to share on Periscope? If we can do that well, then having CNBC or having another news organization tell a story live and reach a new audience of people who are on their phones, who don't have TVs or cable subscriptions, who don't want to sign in through their cable TV provider and authenticate. They just want to see live video from someone they care about, whether it's an influencer or a brand. That's easier, I think, because I think consumers have voted with their time and their attention, and they want to be able to frictionlessly access live content.
Kevon, this is your first time at Cannes Lions. What did you learn from Cannes Lions that you might apply in your business? You got some feedback from the marketers or the clients that you met.
Well, the first thing I learned is that the weather is very nice here. There's no better place to have a conference. We've also been spending a lot of time with advertisers and with partners around what they've found to be successful and what they've found to be missing with the medium. And just being able to brainstorm with a lot of these folks and talk about what other companies have done that's really powerful is really good to get the juices flowing in terms of how they can apply that thinking to their own organization. So it's a time to meet people and to listen and to share ideas.
So what did you listen to? What did you listen to? What did they share?
Well, I think one of the things that we hear from brands is, you know, they love the spontaneity of Periscope and the ability to just press a button and go live from a phone, but they also like to have the ability to share more highly produced content. So, like you guys have 2 cameras right now shooting at the same time, and you may have an audio mix going. People want to be able to pipe that content to Periscope. And it has a different appeal, right? It's not as interactive as you holding your iPhone and talking to me because you can't see the questions, but it's still powerful in the sense that you can get your content to reach a new audience. And that's something that we've heard a lot this week from organizations that want to be able to do that, and so we're working on that.
Kevon, thank you so much. Thanks for speaking to us.
Thank you so much for having me.